back with Blogging the Fast Way with JJ Carlos. Today we are going to go over the topic of programming. We've been asked multiple times of we get phone calls from parents who are out of town or in other states, or their kids going to college. Can you write us an 8-week program for this, or can you help me with a 6-week program for that? And don't get me wrong, if you're doing something, it's usually better than nothing. But at the same time, there's a lot of flaws with this because things are always ever changing, right? So if I came up to you and said, Carlos, I want an 8-week program, I want to work on my agility, and I want to get faster. Can you help me?
Your career's over, right? You want an 8-week program for you.
Okay,
on the treadmill. No. So this is me talking, but this is our thought process. You know, with programming, we totally get the idea behind programming, the science behind programming, the peaking, the all of the above. Okay, but our thought process is that coming from the college ranks and having program cards every day in the filing cabinet, training these college kids that bring us their summer programs that, in honesty, you never follow like you're supposed to. Okay, no matter what anyone says, maybe 5% of the population in the college ranks follow their program cards like they're supposed to, and not for bad reason, not because we don't want to. It's because when you were in college and you have a rugged, rigorous game, or whatever, he's not going to think it's rigorous, but a 12-inning game or something like that, you know what I mean? 3 tough games, baseball games in a row. You're going to go on Monday or Tuesday, and it's going to be a heavy squat day or a whatever, a leg day, a shoulder day, and maybe I, am working through a torn labrum, or maybe I'm having hip problems, and I can't do squats that day. So right now I got to go to my strength coach and say, hey, what can we do to work around this? He's already changing your program. No matter what your strength coach says, he's taking that program that was once a whole and now breaking it up into pieces. And so for myself and JJ, it's like, okay, so now to stray from doing that, because to me, if I write a program out, I'm gonna try to follow it to a T just like any trainer would. But if I have all these changes in there, I'm just messing up that whole program. So instead of doing that, we really track athletes in accordance to what they're trying to accomplish in that time frame. And so you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's what program. Well, we don't write that down. I might tell Kyle, hey Kyle, you come in on Wednesday, we're gonna hit conditioning legs, we're gonna work on footwork, et cetera, et cetera. On Thursday, we're gonna hit more upper body stuff. On Friday, we're gonna go all functional basketball stuff. Like I said, that's all subject to change, but I know that going in. So as a trainer, when he comes in, first thing JJ, Eric, Megan, whoever, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling today, Kyle? Oh, well, I'm dying. I had weights at school today. This is for a high school athlete. I had weights at school today, I feel like I pulled a hamstring, pulled a quad, okay. What are we shifting to? Automatically right away, okay, now we're working with upper body stuff. Also with high school athletes that a lot of trainers don't take into account is that they have a trainer at school, they have a basketball coach a lot of times that they're going to for privates, then they have us. And so now if I don't ask every day, I'm not gonna get that kid, I'm gonna get that kid who's too tough for his own good that says, no, I'm fine, I'm good. He heavy back squatted that morning. He's got basketball practice later that night. Then he's got to go shoot around with his coach after that. That's why as trainers, it's so important to ask questions. Make sure you know how your athlete's feeling over programming at any time. You have to be one-on-one with that client and really know what's going through his head. Make it clear to him, I'm not your strength coach at school. I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to preserve you and make sure you function at the highest level you can.
I've said that to a lot of high school kids too. Like, I'm not your strength coach. I'm not your coach.
Weren't you interviewing me? Or?
Yeah, but this is a good point. It's really good. When I hear kids say, no, I'm not hurt, and I could obviously tell something's wrong with him. I tell him, look, I'm not going to take you out of the game. You're not going to go to second string now. I'm not going to punish you for this. This is something I need to know. This is viable information that I need to be a competent trainer to help you get better. So, just like you said, being able to observe your client, because a lot of times they'll lie to you. They'll try to. You see it all the time. Kids trying to push through stuff they shouldn't push through, and there's give and take with that. Because I don't know in baseball, but in football you always hear, "Are you injured or are you hurt?" And I think you probably heard that. And there's a difference. Whereas times in football and competition and going through adversity, yes, I have to push through pain. I have to push through some kind of physical, mental adversity where you get better through it and you'll come out victorious, or you don't. So, but you have to be able to be a good judge of that balance, because if you can't, you'll either wind up getting someone hurt or not getting enough out of your client anyway. So being able to adapt, I think, is what you were saying
Oh,
most
yeah.
with programming. So, you know, go ahead and look at
So
that.
like, so now we were talking about individual there. Now from a team standpoint, it's almost impossible not to write programs. We get that. Like, we're not saying as a strength coach for a school or a professional team that you should go and train every athlete individually. That's not how it works. But you're still assessing every athlete individually. So if you're kind of fooling yourself into thinking they're following my program to a T, they're not. You know what I mean? They're not. Whether you're saying, whether they're lying to you or coming up to you and asking you to change it. But we get that. We get that when you have 30 athletes, 40 athletes, 50, whatever it is, you need to write a general program and have these athletes follow that program. We have the luxury of not having to do that. You know, we may have a group of 6 kids, but even with those 6 kids, we try to bunch 6 kids together that all have similar backgrounds, all have similar goals, all have similar athletic movements, all the same things, to where we can train them similarly, you know, and not have to tweak too many things around for each individual kid. But I mean, if we could have it our own way, yeah, we train that kid, we focus on that kid, we focus on that fighter, we focus on that mom, whatever it is, because this doesn't just apply to athletes. Once again, if I have Jody who wants to lose 60 pounds by July because she's going to Cabo, that's easy. That's a program in itself, because I track her inches, I track her weight, I still track her strength gains, all the above. But that's done in my mind. If it's something kind of tricky, I might write it down, I might tell JD, we might converse back and forth, but it's still no program, because the same thing is intact. Because if I have Jody scheduled for a Wednesday squat day and she's got to take her kids to wherever, now if she misses that day, now I got to switch the program up. So now the program has already got a monkey wrench thrown into it. So with that being said, that's where we kind of focus on programming.
Being able to adapt the program, I think, is the
Adaptation,
main
yeah,
point.
100%.
Being able to adapt with your program. So
So it was way more than just black and white. So,
hopefully that helps some of your questions and some of those parents out there that are asking us about programming and stuff. So thanks again for blogging the fast way, Carlos and JJ.
See ya.